And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to Koi Plays Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are up and open. Either message or email me directly. Link is on main. We'll set it up, okay? So, Cancer, what we're looking at in this round of reads. This is going to be your one-to-one read for the month of September. One-to-one is a style reading that I do with party A over here, party B over here, and examining what's going on between the two parties to have a party. Right? What's happening between you and this person? Two major caveats to the style read, Cancer. First, while due to the nature of the intense focus of what's going on between these two people, it tends to get the moniker of being a love read. I do not always guarantee that because it's not always lovely, right? I'm a good enough tarot card reader to read beyond just rainbows and sunshine. So I will talk about everything at the table. That is the first. The second, it ain't always got to be about love. Promise you, it could be your family member, coworker, friend, somebody you just met, right? Just what's the most prevalent relationship happening right now and what is there to be gleaned from it. So as a preamble to your read, Cancer, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, if it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you and mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 sides to work with, and ain't nobody got time for that. Instead, we lay our cards out on the table. In good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation. Just an energetic one. Yeah? So follow along with me in your read today, Cancer, this one-to-one read. And yeah, let's see what the cards say. You're going to be over here, and your person's going to be over here. Oh, my nose is itchy. So those are the cards we need to see, please, between Cancer and their person for this read. Those are the cards we need to see for the Cancer collective between them and their person in this read today. On your end. Okay, Emperor, card of Aries. We're making a choice and we're sticking with it. On their end, the Fool, the belief in a new beginning. Okay, so full speed ahead, I guess. Both of you have come to a comfortable agreement about what a choice is. Now, I'm not automatically insinuating that this is a couple, but oftentimes it hints at that. Whatever this new beginning is, both of you, not both, both of you have reached at least some type of emotional understanding where it's saying, okay, you said you're doing this, I'm going to trust you. You said you're doing this, I'm going to believe in you, right? There's just this mutual acknowledgement of, even left in the unsaid, I'm going to believe in this. And I'm not going to doubt it. You have your reasons. I have my reasons. Good. We're here. What do we do next? Right? So we're trying to eliminate the doubt and fear by making a choice. And once we make choices, other things start to pan out. So good. We're in the starting stages of something. Now what? And that's what I'm more interested in. Now that we have two parties on the board, let's look at fronts and backs. Fronts and backs in this style of read where the backs was left unsaid or left to the wayside. Fronts what's being most directly communicated or energetically exchanged. Show us cards we need to see, please, between Cancer and their person for this read. Fronts and backs, what's going on? Okay, 4 cups. Before we start talking about this gruntiment, why so? 5 of Pentacles. This is a disagreement. Okay, so agree to disagree, but why? On their end, the King of Wands, the 9 of Wands. Making promises you can't keep. Okay, so, that's why you're so adamant about not changing. I know it hurts you to do so, but you gotta look at the facts. I don't know who you're in disagreement with, Cancer. I know this sounds opposite from at least the original start, but it wasn't a agreement as in we're both on the same page about it. It was agreement as in, wow, this is untenable. And I'm gonna go over here and you're gonna go over here, and that's that. Plot twist. And I think that's very interesting because they're insisting, oh no, I can change. This is totally possible. And on your end, you're saying, not only am I disappointed that we've arrived at this conclusion again, but you have provided absolutely no evidence of change, right? The Five of Pentacles, the pocket's dry, the desire is, a dry desert wasteland. And we're talking about opportunity or whatever you want to make happen. You have not once proven to me that this is something I should believe in, right? And so the choice that I make then becomes not just going along with this, right? I don't know why you two are at this stage, Cancer, but it's just like somebody's trying to convince you of something that they have never once proven to you to be true. And the tough part about that is that they have the desire, but the desire does not turn into effort. And you're saying on your end, I ain't seen it. And that's just where I stand. Okay. Reveal individual positions for each party. Show us card me and see, please, between Cancer and that person. Where does each party individually stand? I mean, nice, but they didn't hit the table, so I can't take. What cards do we need to see, please, between Cancer and their person for this read? Okay. King of Swords. I like that for you. I'm going to put that more on your end because, again, that was the side I was looking more towards, even though it flew out for the my left, your right. Yeah, it's tough, Cancer. This is really tough. But the reality is that I'm listening to my experience, not just what you're trying to offer me and these good little nothings that never amounted to anything before. I'm looking at the evidence. That's gonna be the title. Just let me see what this person's got going on their end first. You're looking at the evidence and you're not impressed. Yep. And for this one, Five of Cups. There we go. Right. They're emotionally disgruntled by your decision to not just believe in them, even though their feelings are there. Because again, the evidence does not prove this. And I don't know how many times you're going to reiterate this with them, Cancer, but the reason why y'all are at odds is because you're finally saying, no, this is BS. We've done this before, and I do not want to go through this again. And them on their end, they're saying, no, it's going to change. It's going to be something great and big and beautiful. And I've never done that. Not once. Not once with you, not once with this. And so I think a reality check is hitting them very hard right now, saying, they're only focusing on their own emotions rather than focusing on the change of their actions. And I think that's what is irking me even more as your tarot card reader, Cancer, because whoever's on that end, they're just focusing about how your rebuttal or your refusal to want to entertain this makes them feel, rather than looking at everything that's transpired that's gotten you to this point. It ain't fun. It ain't pretty. But hey, that's where you two are. And so they're mad and upset because, oh, why doesn't Cancer want to do this? Because you haven't done it once for me. Why would I believe it? This is a very lopsided situation, to say the least. Underneath it all, the Chariot, card of Cancer. And so eyes on you, they're focused on you, and you're focused on you. One of them has a much better outcome. Looking at this. And that's just where it is, Cancer. I know it's not a pretty thing because, I see somebody who wants to have faith in them, but you're really standing firm and saying, and you kind of just laid it all out there and saying, yeah, no, you're lying, you're full of it, this is not going to work, etc., etc. And it felt bad when you had to tear them apart like that, but what else is there left to do? There really isn't much else until they prove otherwise. And once they produce different evidence, you can have a different resolution. That's just where it's at. Okay, so now that we got two parties on the board, both looking at each other, one towards the other, 1-to-1, let's look at what's happening down the middle. Show us cards that we need to see, please. What is the shared energy between Cancer and their person in this 1-to-1 reading? Because it's frustrating, I know. And you want better for them. You want them to aspire to the things that they said that they could change. But we've gone through this enough that they actually have to prove it. Not just make up something and then inevitably fail at it and say, oh no, I'll try again different at a different time. Prove it to me first. That's what we got to work on. Down the middle, Eight of Swords, the feeling of powerlessness. It's not powerlessness. And it's on both ends, but for two different reasons. On your end, Cancer, maybe this is the only effective method that you've had so far, is by calling them out and saying, you're full of it. I'm not listening to you. You know that you're lying. And then leaving it at that, not entertaining anything more. We're shutting that conversation down. On their end, well, I could do it if you just tried and believed in me. I did. The past 3-4 times. You need to do that and do the change for yourself. I can't be the one who's the catalyst for all that anymore. I cannot take the responsibility of your stuff. Okay. Now, the obvious answer is that they look at their stuff and you have to really do this the hard way with them and say, once you have done different behavior and shown different evidence, I will believe you. Until that moment happens, it ain't gonna budge, buddy. Okay. Next. Six of Swords, moving on. Yeah. I'm not entertaining this conversation anymore. That's where you're coming from. Them, well, what am I left to do? You're left to do it. That's where it's at. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, right now it feels like this relationship is gutted between you two, but it's gutted for a reason. It is because one party has not upheld their end of a bargain, right? Whatever the previous promises or guarantees were, they're not being fulfilled. And so you choosing you, finally, after all this time, it feels weird, but that's the only way you think that you can find a resolution. And it's not passive aggressive, it's directly confrontational. What are we doing? Also, Knight of Wands, freedom of the spirit. Here, you're going to say, finally, enough is enough. I am going to let you do you. And when you do right by me, you can do better. But I'll wait until that moment happens. And on their end, well, you talked it for the last 3-4 times. Prove it. The World. And one chapter closes as another one opens. That's the most definitive card in the tarot deck. This one suggesting, yeah, this is the only way they're going to move to the next step, and for you as well. And it could go in one of two directions, Cancer. You could say, hey, life is better off without you because you're not doing the things that you said. Or this could genuinely be the change and the catalyst that they need to get to that next step, to follow through with the stuff that they said that they would. It all depends. But I think you putting your foot down, putting your stamp on it, it really put things into perspective, being like, Cancer ain't playing this time. And I like that for you. Underneath it all, Knight of Cups. This is the nice and best of you. Now, if they want to keep up their end of the bargain, they got some work to do. And if you want to keep up what's right and equitable on your side of that bargain, then you got to give them some tough love right now. It ain't working. It ain't working for a reason. Okay? Last, the 5 major arcana strewn across the table for Cancer in this read. We'll first look at the Emperor. Why, oh why, did Cancer finally make this choice? Show us cards we need to see position Cancer of their person as he moves towards resolution. Nice, but they hit the table, so I can't take. That's a break. What do we need see if we find the Emperor. Ace of Pentacles. The only way I can see you changing is if I change my approach to this. Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity has presented itself. It's me not buying your BS. Okay? On their end, with that Fool, Six of Wands, well, you finally got your chance to prove it, didn't you? Show me something real. For the World, Queen of Swords. Ooh, yeah, the gauntlet has been thrown. The die has been cast. Now, I'm not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You're going to show me a reason to care. You are going to show me a reason how you plan to do better. But in terms of just laying out these lofty goals that inevitably you end up reneging on or failing, that's your choice. I'm not going to be disappointed by this anymore if I don't allow you to disappoint me. So if you want to earn my trust back, then earn it. Okay? In resolution, King of Wands, this is the right thing to do. This is the right thing to do. Is it the most likable outcome especially for them on their side? Absolutely not. But is this the most efficient, effective way? Yes. And I'm saying this, Cancer, because you tried the other methods and they did not work. Sun, the happiest that you have ever been. Because this is what, in order to get to the sun, rainbows come after rain, right? And where it's at right now is cloudy, stormy weather. But you're saying I'm not going to be screwed over or left behind again. So, hey, it is what it is. If you want this so bad, you prove to me that it's better. But until that moment happens, this is where we are. Underneath it all, Nine of Cups. There we go. My own fulfillment. I'm going to focus on me now. Water, water, water. And particularly because your card ended up in the underneath, Cancer, I'm focusing on what I want right now. And if you want to rejoin that life's journey, then you'll find your way to do so. But until then, you have to prove to me that you're doing better. No more lofty promises. Show me the evidence and I'll change my outcome. So, I like this for you, Cancer. It's been a while since I've seen you just stamp your foot down. But I know, especially for the Cancerian collective, all my crab people, it takes a lot to pierce that shell. It really does. And once you've had it, you've had it. Good. So let's do a quick recap. You're not letting another party disappoint you anymore. In fact, you're saying for the best of both worlds and what you claim that you want out of this, I'm going to let you do what you want. And what that looks like right now is I'm not going to believe you. If you want things to get better, you make them better. And I'll be cheering you on from the sidelines. But me sticking my neck out for you just to inevitably have it fail and then you apologize and say you do better and that cycle continues, absolutely not. We're not doing this anymore. We either get it right or we move on. Your choice, my life. We got to do something with where we're at. Yeah, that's a lot to say, but hey, this is what allows you peace, Cancer. Be confrontational. That's all I got on your read today, Cancer. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, we're looking at the evidence. Maybe then we can start to confront the problem. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.